Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 99 of This Week at Shrouded. I'm your host, Dave Greener. Today we have Dunk and Mr. Recht with us. Thanks for being here, guys.
Howdy ho! Ho boy!
All right. Yeah, that's not going to make us go viral, that's for sure. We're done. We're over. It's done, chat. I'm just kidding. So, what I was trying to say, but totally forgot, was we got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about what's in the TWID, mostly, the Act 2 developers update, some information on rebalances of weapons and abilities, Guardian games, some other stuff. It's going to be delightful, and we'll talk about the no swap controversy that's got the community split-ish, I guess. Why don't we talk about that first? I'm interested in getting your take on this because I kind of followed it, but at the same time, I wasn't paying much attention. So, what are they adding no swap to that's getting everybody? Race. So the next raid race.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if that's it, then I am on the fence of I agree that they should do that because I don't know, whatever everyone's opinions are or whatever. But that's the side I'm jumping in right now, because to me they would have to, if they leave that in reality, they would have to balance. Okay, I'll get to the winners in a minute. They would have to balance all the boss DPS for people that.
Why?
To make it fair.
To make it fair for who?
Yeah, if you had boss damage or if you had HP, like boss HP, that was balanced for people that don't swap, then the people that do swap are going to have a significantly easier time. Almost too easy for a contest mode. That's the problem I'm talking about here. I don't care if they have an advantage because they're better at the game. I care they have an advantage in a contest mode for any particular reason other than skill. I don't consider swapping skill. It's just you just open your menu and hit a button. It's not impressive. Now people might say, well,
interesting. It's an interesting take.
I mean, that's all it is.
But
you open your menu, click the button.
That is in fact not all it is.
All right, whatever. Anyway, I don't think contest mode should be balanced for swapping. So I think the easiest solution is to remove.
Why does contest mode need to be balanced against swapping?
So it's difficult.
It is still difficult.
Okay, but if you balanced it for swapping, it would be significantly more difficult.
Why do you need to though? Anybody can do it.
Because they want, but they want it to be hard, right? How many people swap their loadouts during damage phase? Maybe the top 1%.
I understand they want it to be hard, but they managed to make Salvation's Edge difficult.
Uh-huh.
All right, through mechanics.
Well, maybe there's not good enough mechanics in the next raid. Maybe they know that already, and they're deciding that, all the barriers to entry for this next raid are damage checks, and they want to make sure that it's more difficult.
So here is my deal with the people that there are some people that really get mad about loadout swapping in hard level content. They really get irritated. Loadout swapping and knowing when to do it, knowing the right loadouts to have set up to optimize what it is you want each loadout to do, and then doing it at the appropriate time without fucking up any of your ability rotations, heavy ammo, whatever, is a skill expression inside the game. It's a way to play the game that not everybody does because not everybody can, right? And for most for most players, we're not talking about, even the ones who do it, we're not talking about a significant increase in things like damage. We're only really talking about, for DPS swaps in particular, increase in damage on the margins. And maybe Dunk, you might have some takes on this, but I think by and large, when people are loadout swapping, they're not loadout swapping so they can do 50% or 40% or 30% or 20% or even 10% more damage in a DPS phase versus what their loadout is for. They're really on the margins. We're talking single percentages, maybe 5 or 6% more damage than they would have done otherwise, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So loadout swapping is about optimization. It's not about big numbers. If Bungie doesn't want that to be part of the contest experience, okay, that's fine. If that's a design choice they want to make, then great. Put no not swap in there, and that solves it. But it's not going to really make anything more difficult for anybody, I don't think. Right? It's
Ultimately, no. I mean, I think like for your ad clear encounters only, that could be somewhat problematic because you're switching between like defending against mini bosses versus in boss encounters you're trying to focus on doing DPS and staying alive. Having those loadouts that will get you to that damage phase. That's what most people are trying to do here, and by doing no swap, they're saying we don't want that, we want you to have your specific loadout when you get into the encounter.
I mean, you don't lose everything. You can still loadout swap. You just lose ability power.
Yeah. Which
there are still other things you can lose depending on what you have set up in your loadout, right? You can lose special, you can lose heavy depending on what it is that you're swapping around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with all the ways to generate ammo now, it's not a huge issue.
And that being said, just by doing ability loss alone, that really doesn't affect you. Just drop your ability right then and there and then swap. Unless they're going to find a way around that, which I doubt. So, there's no major loss there. I mean, you have plenty of weapons that you'll get your grenade ability back. You have, like, recovery to get your rift back. You have resilience to get your barricade back. Like, there are options to get those abilities back faster. So it's not like it's this huge loss on the side of the player.
I just think that it affects such a small percentage of the population that even in a raid race scenario, I think the guys that are doing it, if they're doing it to get themselves even the smallest amount of advantage, fine. Then they win the race. Okay. Because there's a skill expression there, and it's fine.
Well, Bungie doesn't want that skill expression to be the one that decides a race. So that's why they added it. That's the only thing I can imagine. That maybe they want to open it up to a smaller amount of people to potentially win. I don't really know. I think anybody that could win a raid race, loadout swaps, and most of them are okay with it being no swap. I didn't see any big raid racer make a big deal over this. Most of them were on board with it. They were like, "Yeah, that's fine." At least on my feed. Anybody big and noticeable that was against adding no swap on your feeds? Anyone?
I mean, there were some people that were not about it and that have won raid races. So,
well, that's what I was wondering. Like most of what I saw were just people that were. Well, actually, they didn't say necessarily they were for it, but they were making fun of the people that weren't for it. Because that's the internet. You don't just say why you like something. You have to make fun of everyone else that doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if Bungie wants loadout swapping to be relegated to speed runs and low mans, okay, that's fine. They don't want it in the raid race. Yes, that's fine as well. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, one way or the other. But it just seems like a weird decision, and it just seems like a weird decision that only affects the margins. And it's not going to really change. I don't think it's going to actually change the outcome of any raid race anyway. I don't personally.
I agree. Again, this is only affecting the top 4% of the community. It doesn't really have that huge of an effect on everyone else. So it is what it is if that's what they're going to do.
It will make certain weapons a lot more popular and force people to drag things out. Like Alethanim is probably going to be widely used in the next raid race if you can't just swap around. If you can't have somebody just swap the cenotaph and generate a bunch of ammo, right? And so there are some things you can see right off the top that are gonna change. So it'd be interesting if Bungie also puts hard timers on the raid race on top of everything else. That would be interesting. But anyway, I think the community is mostly just doing what the community does, right? Bungie makes a move, everybody's got to be outraged by it, or some people have to be outraged by it so they can get some interactions on the old tweeters.
The old interactions.
You know?
Gotta love the old interactions. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. It's whatever. Mind you, it did annoy me when I was switching my ammo or my guns mid match during trials last weekend. I'm like, fuck! I keep forgetting this is a thing.
Given all the other shit they could put resources towards, I don't know that I would expend even 1 minute of somebody's time in implementing no swap in a raid race. But what do I know?
Not much. No, I'm just kidding. I'm thirsty. Yeah. I'm gonna go get a drink of water. Keep talking.
Why does he always decide he's got to go take a piss or get a drink after we've already started the show, knowing full well that he does not edit this shit out?
Every time. Yeah. Like I always make sure I have my water ready to go as soon as basically we start getting into call. Like, come on. We can do that. We can do this.
I feel like Greener needs to be nominated for that bathroom break Player of the Year award. I maybe I'm giving away things for tomorrow, but you know, maybe Greener needs to be on that list.
Oh, I'm sure we could just add him to it and he wouldn't notice until he's announcing it.
Anyway, fucking Greener, get back here.
Right.
We're just gonna talk about you not being here the whole time you're not here, loser.
Indeed. How dare he just up and walk away from us like that? Insane.
I mean, I would talk to you some more about no swap, but I don't expect you have much experience with no swap in PvP. So,
no, not particularly.
Greener, you need to go nominate yourself for that having to take a piss break award for tomorrow.
I wanted water.
It's always either water or you need to pee every episode. You never do this shit before you do the introduction.
All right. Well, I can't. All that stuff's done. It's all done.
Mm-hmm. Somebody needs to send like a mini. Somebody needs to send Greener one of those mini, like water coolers that sits on your desk to his PO box. You know, and that way he's just got water right there.
Monster should send me one of those cool fridges that all the big streamers have. That's what I think I should get. But they won't because they're cowards.
Yeah. Well, listen. All you need to do is get a certain amount of people following you to make it worth their while.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can tell you it's a lot more than the ever dwindling Twitter followers that I have. Yeah, that's just is what it is. I had 3,200 like a year ago, and now I have 2,972 or some shit.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, I comment on posts sometimes that I probably shouldn't with the Shrouded Gaming account. I can only assume that it pisses people off and they leave. Also, I believe that some of my followers are probably bots based on that I've done giveaways on Twitter before.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's either one of the two. It's either both or I shouldn't make anti-right comments on my Twitter sometimes, but sometimes I just can't help it. Anyway,
All right, let's get into the twid.
let's move on. First, I'm going to announce the winners so somebody doesn't have a stroke and die.
And by
Okay,
somebody, you mean Doubleito?
maybe. All right. Winners this week. We have 2,300 weekly silver. The winner of that is Newbie 104. Congratulations. Our SGC t-shirt goes to Be Who You Want to Be. Congratulations. Our monthly 6,000 silver giveaway goes to Hazy Sky.
Nice.
And our monthly hoodie giveaway goes to Sloth GSR. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Sloth won the hoodie.
Finally.
I don't think it should be allowed, to be honest.
It's the end of an era.
It's the end of an era, yeah. Can somebody in the chat send me those winners? I just deleted it from my file that I had. I don't want to go back and watch the VOD. You're here. You remember who they were, right? I know somebody's paying attention. Hold on. I'm going to read chat just for a second. Hold on. You put in over 50 million for the hoodie and didn't win?
No.
You know what I have to say to that? Get fucked.
Oh, no. He said, yeah, I gave him 50 million for it.
So
Okay, never mind.
now I really wish he had lost.
That would have been funny, yeah. Actually, I'm gonna write these down. I'll remember them. It was Hazy Sky for 6,000. Be Who You Wanna Be for SGC t-shirt. Sloth for hoodie. And 2,300 silver was Newbie. I did remember. Look at me go. All right, cool. So, okay. Next, I think we get into the TWID, the developer live stream. So they had a developer live stream for Act 2. What'd you guys think of it overall? You said you didn't watch it, correct?
Nope. I was busy.
Never mind. Did you watch it afterwards?
No.
Okay.
Completely forgot about.
Did you watch it, Dunk?
No, I did not.
Holy fuck. All right. Good conversation. Okay. No, it's
Why don't you
fine.
tell us about it?
Okay. So they announced the new activity for next week or next
Court of Blades.
season, which was Court of Blades, which is basically
Court of War.
yeah. Sure. Okay. I didn't play Destiny 1. Leave me alone. Anyway, they players fight through arenas, enemies with escalating difficulty. And you get all the same upgrades that you do through the Nether. Maybe it's different upgrades, but it's like those things that you pick and choose. That's just the new activity. And you know what? I think Heresy is kind of what, so far at least, we'll see. I wanted episodes to be more like. His Nether was it's really good. I still think it's good. I still do it. Not a lot, but I don't play Destiny a lot. And it's an activity that I could continue to do. Like we used to do all season. Same activity for mostly the whole season.
Yeah.
But now we're getting another one in Act 2. Which they did in Act 1. We got different activities each act. I think they did in Act 2. I'm trying to remember everything in Act 2 because it was so boring I didn't play, right?
Revenant had a new
Anyway,
activity pop
my
in
point
with Act
my
2 of
point
Revenant.
is we needed that stuff for Act 1 and Act 2 because we were fucking bored I'm not bored with Act 3 yet, and I've played it more than Act 1 and Act 2, probably combined in total already. So we're getting a new activity. Nether's still a good activity. Hopefully Court of Blades is a good activity. And then whatever drops in Act 3. Like, who made Act 3 and where were they during the Act 1 and Act 2? Like, how is it so significantly better? And some people would disagree with me, but
You're having a hard time following. He means episode 1, 2, and 3. Okay, continue.
Okay, sorry, yes. Where were they during the episodes, Echoes and Revenant? Like, those sucked. Like, they're not good. Revenant specifically is the only redeeming factor. Like, Vespers was great, sure, but it's not even really seasonal content. It was just something they have to do. Like, it's like you need a raid or a dungeon to come along with that stuff, right? And the exotic quest was okay. It was pretty cool. But I mean, the rest of the season was just a bunch of bunk. So far in Heresy, we've gotten Sunner Doctrine, which is pretty good. I probably like Hosts better, but that's fine. Not a significant amount. They're both good dungeons. Nether was great. I'm actually invested a little bit in what's happening. Like to see what's going on in Eris's little throne world and what that leads to. And then we got, orcs stroking our ego. Whatever you want. Anyway. So I think that stuff's interesting. There's an activity that I'm not tired of playing already as we make our way out of Act 1. There's a new activity coming. I'm sure there's going to be a big activity in Season 3. We got the Barrow Dyad quest, which was just a random week drop, exotic mission-ish. Which is really cool. Like, are we getting another exotic mission in Act 3? Like, is that 2 in 1? That'd be pretty cool. Maybe we just get another activity if it's good. I don't know. My point is, I'm very happy with Heresy, and I am a little dumbfounded the difference between 1, 2, and 3. Episode 1, 2, and 3, not Act 1, 2, and 3. Because Heresy is just so significantly better to me than the last two that I'm just like, what were you doing?
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of hope that they expand more on the exotic mission. Simply because, very end of it, you just lock the boss behind a door and say bye. So I'd love to see how that ends up playing out. Because that needs to be resolved before this episode comes to an end.
Maybe it will. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they'll do like a random drop in Act 2. That is something else that relates to the Barrow. Because they did mention there was going to be more Catalyst stuff dropping this act. Maybe it has to do, maybe there's story. Or maybe there's a bigger piece to the puzzle. I don't know for sure. And knowing Budgie, there's totally a possibility that they just ignore that thread and walk away from it. But they might do something. Anyway, I guess my point is, I'm looking forward to Court of Blades. And not because I'm bored of the Nether, which is cool, I think. All right, anyway, they went over some more weapons, obviously, that we're getting in Act 2. Bunch of stuff. So we got another...
It's going to be a glaive fusion rifle.
Yeah, well, I was going to say another top row primary, or whatever it's called, a glaive.
Kinetic.
Well, it's strand.
It's a strand glaive.
It's strand.
Yeah, it's not primary. What do they call? What is that?
That is
called?
the kinetic slot.
Kinetic.
It's the kinetic stasis.
Kinetic slot. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Kinetic. All right. Kinetic. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And they need to. It confuses me when there's elemental stasis and strand, but then you say kinetic because my brain says kinetic means there is none of that.
Someday it'll be a light and dark slot. Someday.
Ooh, smart. All right. Anyway, yeah. So we got a glaive, fusion, bow. There's another sidearm. And what the fuck is that thing? Oh, that's a submachine gun.
Yes. And a sidearm and a bow.
I said a bow and sidearm. I just went in the wrong order. All right, and we got new artifact perks. So overload trace, trace healing, elemental siphon, harsh refraction. Anyway, it's all trace shit. Trace rifles do more damage to targets affected by elemental stuff. And then limit break. What is this one again? I don't remember. Casting a super while you are critically wounded or have an element buff matching your super element grants a period of increased super damage. Whew. That is like limit break. We're going Final Fantasy in Destiny. Let's go, baby.
We've had that before, though. We've had a similar perk. Yeah, it was back when Curse of the Falling Star was a huge thing when it first came out. Yeah,
picking it up in Arc Orb and then Curious Thunder Crashing probably did so much damage. I don't remember that. But yeah,
you would. It was specific to you had to be critically wounded for death.
Oh, you know what? Now that you said that, I'm just thinking. Okay, all right.
Yeah, this is also the same time that we had the bugged 12-man raids.
Oh man, that shit is old then.
Yeah. So it's been a while since we've had this.
Well, this one's cool. You don't have to critically wound yourself. You can just grab, your an orb to give you this power, which makes it significantly easier to proc when you want to proc it. So that's nice. So that's cool. I'm sure a lot of people will be using that for some big damages. Big old damages. Okay. All right. So then they talked about all this other fucking shit that I kind of paid attention to, but wasn't necessarily super in there. So
Let's talk about Rights of the Nine and what it is and what
that's
it's
what
not.
I was about to talk to. That's ironic.
Because what it's not is Pantheon for dungeons, even though that's what everybody keeps saying on Twitter.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not the exact concept of that, but the idea kind of, here's this dungeon mode that you're going to be able to get reprised weapons that have special skins. There's going to be a new twist on these 3 dungeons. If you didn't know, it's Prophecy, Spire of the Watcher, and Ghost of the Deep. And you get to go in there. You get to go back to the Trials of the Nine space. That was in year 1. And you can attune which weapons you want. So it's very into the lighty style concept, but for these 3 dungeons. Now, I understand what you're saying when you say it's not Pantheon because it's not boss rush mode. But I mean the concept of, I think it's a similar idea, whereas here we've taken some of this content that we already have, putting a new spin on it, and you can get some rewards from it. And here you go. In that aspect, yes, it's something that they've changed, or they're using old content to kind of refresh it and be a little bit more interesting. Anyway, that's coming in Act 3.
I highly suspect that this won't have the same kind of difficulty spike, even with all the additional modifiers you can have on it, as Pantheon did. So,
in fact, there's a bunch of ways to help teach people how to do these dungeons in the explore mode or whatever.
I feel like people are going to are expecting this uber difficult contest level dungeon stuff. That's not what they're gonna get. I think we're gonna have a lot of people bitching and moaning when this comes out. This isn't hard enough. This isn't Pantheon. Brr. So
yeah, okay. Anyway, you'll have to. Okay, so the way it explains it on here just so everyone says, Rite of the Nine is an event free for all players coming during Act 3 of Heresy. No matter if you're a new player or a veteran, everyone will have a chance to experience a new twist on 3 classic dungeons, Prophecy, Spire of the Watcher, and Ghost of the Deep. I love that they chose Prophecy. Sorry, I love that dungeon. Players will have a chance to jump into the new Learn As You Go Explorer mode, and those brave enough can ramp up the difficulty in the new Ultimatum mode. Take on the 3 levels of challenge to earn new rewards, like some very strong, very 9-themed weapons. So, that's essentially what it is. So, new twist, old dungeons, reprised weapons that are changed to be 9-themed, and have new perks and stuff.
Who wants to put money on the changes are... Hey, there's champions and Banes in here. Congratulations. There's your iteration.
I mean, that might be it, right? But whatever. Everyone likes new guns, so these guns will probably be strong, whatever they've chosen. They did have them all on the screen during the thing, but I don't remember what they are.
Yep.
There was a ton of them. There was like 10 of them too, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they are. And then thank you. Okay, hold on. I just want to yeah, okay, I'm so happy. I love strikes. I think they should do way more strikes. And the fact that they're adding a strike in the middle of an episode, this is another thing I'm talking about. Like, I know it's an old strike, it's reprised, but they're changing it. It's going to be different. It's probably just the only thing that's the same as the environment.
We'll see.
Well, it'll be a different boss, and the environment will be the same. But so anyway, I don't know. I never played Sunless Cell. I don't know what's going on in there. I don't know. I won't even be able to.
It's going to be a big night in a pit that's completely dark that you can't see shit in.
That's
what it's going to be.
Cool. Makes sense. Anyway, so they're bringing back the Sunless Cell strike. One of the most beloved Destiny strikes is now back in Destiny 2 with a few changes here and there. But with all its charm still intact. Sunless Cell will make Guardians dig deeper than ever into the Dreadnought to fight a formidable foe. We hope you're ready for it and for the Grandmaster version too. So we're getting a new strike with the Grandmaster version and Act 3. All right. Is it Act 3?
So you don't know what Sunless Cell was?
No, I don't remember. I might have seen it, but I don't
Sunless
recall.
Cell was a strike that happened on the Dreadnought.
I figured.
There's a prison cell on the Dreadnought called the Sunless Cell, where Oryx was keeping Alak Hul, which is the Dark Blade. All right, so it's the same boss that's in the Light Blade, right? That's after Savathun gets a hold of them, but
he's not there anymore. So.
Yeah, and so that strike, you used to have the Destiny in Destiny 1. It had the in Destiny 1 it had the had an exclusive drop that was the Titan Hive helmet that kind of looks like the Oryx helmet that we've got available now. So
okay,
so that's what it was. But the final encounter is jump into darkness, get hit floor. Here is boss fight. Boss fight is in a room that is completely black. It is completely lights off. Pull out your ghost. Doesn't matter. There is no light. Ghost. The boss is one of those knights that disappears and reappears to jimmy whack you. And that's what it is. Don't die.
That sounds awesome.
Yep. Also, boss would drop like solar flames on the area where he hit. So have fun running through that.
And then eventually you'd shoot his head off, you'd shoot his helmet off, and he'd get really mad. And then he would be running around, charging around in the dark where you can't see him. All you can do is hear him.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Sounds hard for Grandmaster, but we'll see. I'm sure we'll figure out a way to cheese it like we do everything that's difficult. Anyway, my point is, like, this was, maybe I should have had my, oh my god, like, where were you developers conversation after, because like getting a strike, like I've always said, you'd make a lot more people happy if you dropped an expansion with more strikes. Like, I think people don't realize how much people like that stuff. Anyway, so my point is, we get all this stuff, we get the exotic mission, all these great activities, we're getting a newish strike. Like I think they're nailing this episode, and I'm like, fuck. Seeing this episode and knowing that they're not doing anymore is kind of annoying. I didn't feel bad before because episode 1 and 2 were such shit, like non-banger, but episode 3 is such a fucking banger that it's like, ugh, damn.
I like the episode fine, but I can't look at it without my D1 glasses on, being like, it's an environment that I've already explored.
Maybe that's why
the new activity is it looks almost exactly like an activity I've already grinded. I'm going to put some runes and some statues. That's going to determine how difficult the boss fight is or what the boss rotation is that I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go fight this boss and then maybe get some loot at the end. Over and over and over again. Oh, we're getting another strike. It's a strike I've already done a million times. All right. All
right. I get that. I still think it's really good. So we're allowed to be different.
That's true. We're bringing a new Crucible mode, a new party mode.
Yeah. I don't. We should. Okay. We're definitely doing an event around this, right?
Around heavy metal.
Yeah.
We have no idea if it's going to be available in private mode or not.
It will be.
Why? I don't think 2v2 is, and 2v2's out now.
Yeah, but it's only out for a week, isn't it? Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was only supposed to be out for the week. Anyway, if we can, I think we should. Absolutely. I think that would be fun. Or you tell me to go fuck yourself because you already got everything planned for the year. Not entirely sure. Anyway, the new Crucible mode looks really fun. I don't know. You get to play tanks versus Briggs. Just all out party mode, have fun, shoot shit, blow shit up. I mean, there's nothing special about it, but it's going to be fun, probably.
I'm going to have fun with it for 1 or 2 matches, and then it's going to be boring, and I'll go back to doing my regular Crucible. I
think it'll be boring in the public playlist. I think if we get this available in customs matches, I think it'd be a lot more fun to play with your friends, like blowing each other up. So you might get like 10 matches out of it. But
I foresee Briggs versus tanks, and it's going to be on a playlist that has a grand total of 1 map over and over and over and over and over.
Oh yeah, it's just that Beyond Light map, 100%.
And that will be that.
But it's fun. I hope they didn't spend too much time on development because I think people will have fun with it for a bit. But yeah, it won't be popular for like ever. It's not. They
should have just brought in combined arms and called it a day, and just added Briggs to it.
I don't even know what that is.
Combined arms from D1 was a mode that had exceptionally large maps because all of the vehicles, all the pilotable vehicles, were on them. You could pull out your Sparrows. There were interceptors. You could get into tanks, etc. The stuff that was available. You could get on pikes.
So it was like Halo.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot closer to like a large scale Halo map battle. Yeah. So
that's cool. Yeah, they should have, but they won't.
No.
All right.
So Guardian games.
Yeah, Guardian games. Okay, so the armor this year kind of going with a medieval vibe. I think the Warlocks and the Titans look pretty good. I don't know about the Hunter. Looks pretty boring. Big Sag.
It's all going to come down to what shades and what doesn't on this armor, just like all Guardian games armor. A very good Guardian game set can be completely ruined by some yellow, red, and blue stripes that don't shade, or tassels that don't shade in the wrong spots.
Yeah. I bet some things don't shade on this. Anyway, so Guardian Game's coming. I think it's next week, right? Pretty sure. That's when Act 2 drops, right?
Yeah.
This Tuesday?
Yep.
Yeah, they said it was at the same time. I think most of the same stuff with Rushdown. So Rushdown is a new activity. I'll just read what's on here instead of trying to explain my own words because I'm an idiot. Rushdown is a boss. It's a boss rush style activity where you battle a series of bosses taken from Destiny 2's campaigns, seasonal story missions, and exotic missions, which each boss encounter defeated combatants in activity in the activity increase in difficulty with 5 total encounters per run. You'll have a time limit to complete the run with time added for each successful encounter completion. Completion encounters in a run or earn your rewards with faster times, offering a chance for more drops or higher quality loot. There's 3 ways to play: warm-up mode, standard, and expert. Cool. Anyway, I'm always down for not the same fucking... Well, I never disliked Guardian games because you didn't have to play like a boring-ass Lost Sector or something like that. You just went through the regular Strike playlists or Nightfalls to keep getting that stuff. But still, I think this is cool, unless the activity sucks.
I mean, it's basically just Pantheon, but story mode.
What are we looking at here?
This is the new gun.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, so the new activity, yeah, I think it's cool. There's different difficulty modes, obviously, with the highest one having more difficult combatants and like Rive token or okay, never mind. Limiting use of your Revive tokens gets you better score. Scratch that. I'm just seeing if there's anything different here. Everything else is kind of the same. The bronze, silver, gold glow, laurel crown, all that stuff is there. Eva Levante. Yeah, okay. And then the trace rifle. Okay, go ahead with the trace rifle.
All right. So it's an arc trace.
Uh-huh.
Here are the perks. We've got Detonator Beam, Rolling Storm, Killing Tally, Jolting Feedback, Closing Time, Harmony, and Killing Wind in column 4. Overflow, Hipfire Grip, Discord, Recycled Energy, Perfect Float, Dynamic Sway Reduction, and Eddy Current in column 5. Discord and Detonator Beam or Rolling Storm or Killing Tally or Jolting Feedback will all be alright. But otherwise, this doesn't actually look that interesting. It's a trace rifle. It does trace rifle things. Discord being able to automatically regenerate ammo for you every time you get a kill is cool. It will really depend on how much ammo it's giving you. Every time you get a kill. So that's it. Discord's always good on specials. So when the videos come out about the Cracked God rolls, if your streamer of choice does not mention Discord, you should stop watching that streamer immediately because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Thank you.
Can you bring the other tab back up and just scroll down to the armor since we didn't take a look at it before that? Boom. There you go, chat. So that's the armor.
I suspect the red on the Titan won't shade, the blue on the Hunter won't shade, and the yellow on the Warlock will not shade. That would be my guess.
Let me tell you, those goofy looking ass motherfucking snakes on the Hunter's gauntlets are I'm sorry, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. But hey, chat, the shoulders look symmetrical. Look at that. Am I drunk?
You hunters always whining about armor symmetry.
I could care less, but listen, I've never cared about armor symmetry, but people complain about it all the time, and they have their own right to or whatever. But like, is that not symmetrical? Like, did they actually make a set that was symmetrical?
Yeah, looks like it. Even the wraps appear to be symmetrical. You got some goofy ass Pokemon on your wrists, but you know,
I
whatever.
fucking hate those snakes, man. They're so stupid looking. Maybe it's just the blue. Maybe I just hate the color. I don't know. No, I hate everything about it. It's so dumb. Anyway, I like the Titan. Titan looks good. The Warlock looks good. I mean, for all... Like, I like the Hunter. I really like the Hunter sigil, like, on the chest. I think that's fucking cool. But, those gauntlets. We're going to have to swap the gauntlets out for something else, man. We're going to have to find something else that matches that shit.
But it won't be symmetrical.
I don't care. Like I said, I'm lucky because I don't care about that stuff.
Greener, once you're wearing these arms, I just need you to say, Arbok, I choose you every time you like throw a knife. Then it'll be like you're summoning your Pokemon every time.
Yeah. All right. Scroll down to the jersey. Since you've got it up. I guess scroll up now. Good lord. All right. There's a jersey you can get this year. I'm not interested. Maybe if I can choose the number on the back, I might be interested, but I don't want 25. Is there a reference for the 25? Do you know?
No idea.
I mean, other than it being Guardian Games 2025.
Oh, that's probably it. Yeah. That makes sense. But, yeah, okay. No, I'd love to be able to customize the number, and then I might consider it. But, yeah, I don't know. That's not something I'm interested in. All right, so we got the standard title. We'll have the champ title, the event card as normal. If you want Bungie to be able to keep making awesome content, make sure to buy that event card. I'm just kidding. I bet you were waiting for a use code SGC. Oh, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. There's no codes.
Use
They don't
code
get me,
SGC for 50% at checkout.
Yeah. Okay. And okay, so here's the thing. So they've got another Guardian Games content creator nonsensical nonsense. And once again, we were ignored, like we always are, because we don't actually make Destiny content that is good enough for them. But listen, hear me out. At least it says North America this time in the teams, rather than just absolutely ignoring Canada. And I have a theory for this. Pika Peach is Canadian, so I'm pretty sure they only put North America there because she was chosen as one of the warlocks.
Just like certain other people, they know it's all the same thing, so that's why they just listed it as North.
It is not the same thing. Fuck off.
So passionate about it.
I don't actually know if any of these other 8 content creators that are chosen from North America are all American or not. So maybe somebody else is on the list that might be from Mexico or one of the other 20 countries in North America. I don't actually know the exact number, chat. Please don't quote me on the 20 and be like, actually, it's 17 or some shit like that.
I mean, it's not 20, but, you know.
It's pretty.
It's fine.
It's something like that.
It's definitely a lot. I don't think it's... I think it's like...
I mean, we can just look it
16 or
up.
something like that.
How many countries in North America? 23. I was close.
23. No, that would... Whoops.
Yeah, well, you ask a lot of people, and they'll say Canada, United States, and Mexico, and that's it.
Yeah.
So you're doing better than them.
That's true.
Anyway,
The gift sub emblem looks pretty cool.
don't forget sub creators to gift us some Twitch emblems during the Guardian games. That actually is really good. I like that one. Nice. All right. I might get like 6 gifted subs because of that.
All right, are we ready to talk about Crucible?
Sure. Let's go ahead and talk about Crucible.
right. I'm gonna go.
Go right ahead then.
They're tuning Rendrix's S stock. All right, number one, the big quote nerf to Rendrix to its stats is 5 handling. We're fixing it by taking away such a small amount of handling that nobody will even be able to perceive it. The change in the handling will be so minute that unless you are high on shrooms and can perceive things differently, you're never going to be able to tell. The main thing that is affecting everybody in PvP is going to be this sword logic tuning. Right now, sword logic will give you sword logic ×2 when you kill a guardian, right? That's a 20% damage bonus. This is important because on Rendrix or in any lightweight, a 20% bonus equates to being able to 2-burst any guardian resilience 90 or lower. All right, so you can 2-burst T9 and lower. With the 15% that they're moving this to, that'll now force the 2-burst down to tier 4, so 40 resilience and lower. If you want to be able to get those crispy 2 taps on higher resilience guardians, you're going to have either sword logic ×3, which you're only going to get by killing a guardian in their super with the Rendrix, or you're going to have to move over to kill clip because it'll give you 25%, and that will 2-burst all guardians no matter their resilience. Alongside that, they're taking the swipe at all of the lightweights, and it's because of how hot lightweights have been. If you've played Trials in the past few weeks, you will know that Rendrix has had more kills than the rest of the top 10 weapons combined. All right. Yes, Greener.
There's no N in Redrix. Stop it.
Huh?
You keep calling it Rendrix. It's
Yeah,
Redrix. It's Redrix.
It's Redrix. I'm used to calling it Rendrix. Sorry.
I'm just.
You ever have one of those words where you say it a certain way and it just sticks even though you know it's wrong, like Diablo, you know?
Wait, do I say Diablo? Okay. Or Diablo? I get confused which one's right now.
Anyway, Redrix is S stock. It's going to take me a minute, but in order to really fix this frame of gun, they are going after all the lightweights on top of everything. And even though the damage numbers they've shown don't seem like it's making a big deal, where it's going to have the same kind of effect like it did on the high impacts, and that is removing a bunch of forgiveness. So like high impacts can still get their optimal TTK, their lightning fast TTK, but you got to hit all crits. Right, and so this is going to shift more in that direction, and that will affect even things that are buffed by their damage bonuses, which makes sense because if you look at Trials the past few weeks, top weapons, there have been like 4 pulse rifles in the top 10, and most of them are lightweights or BXR frames. They're the legacy frames, which are effectively lightweights. They have the same damage profile as a lightweight frame. So.
You're right, and even looking at like the top 10 and having a bunch of light frames in there, like Redrix was like not number 1 by a little bit, but by like triple the next gun below it.
Well, yeah.
I just wanted to point that out.
It's had more kills. It had more kills than every week that it's been out than all of the other 9 weapons in the top 10 combined. And it's because the basic one you get for completing your comp,
sword logic,
was a very strong roll. So anyway, the damage perk, the modification of the damage perk means that people are going to need to go farm if they want to have the same performance, and kill clip is going to be the way they need to go. But you know, the changes they're doing to the base damage of these things is going to have effects on all of them, including your outbreaks, including things like Bad Juju, including Stay Frosty, the other stuff that's been very popular. in the list.
This is why I spent time getting a good roll of Aisha's last, because I knew lightweights were going to get nerfed.
Yeah. So,
and actually, I played with it a lot last week. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
Heavy Burst will be a good option because they've got a super fast TTK if you have Desperado on them.
Yeah. I don't have Desperado on it. I deleted all those rolls.
Oh, well.
I went with Zed Moment, Headseeker. That's the roll I wanted.
Okay.
With as much range and stability as I could get. So, depending on...
You know their base range is like 38 meters, right?
I don't know what that means.
Is
that a lot? Is that a little?
Yes. Yes.
Well,
without a single range modification, they're already have the longest range of all pulse rifles. And they're basically scout rifle range right out the gate. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had a good time with it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many I ended up getting. A lot. And then I finally went with one that has 100 range, 74 stability, and runs Zen Moment Headseeker. And I was like, "That's the one, baby." And that's what I settled on. So. Sorry if it's not good enough for you.
No, it's fine. To each their own. For me, it's either Golden Tricorn or Desperado on those frames, or Kill Clip if your frame happens to be able to get it. So, which Aisha's does. So, talking about the handling again, the S-Stocks handling is going from 79 to 74, and this right here, I chuckled when I read it. Redrix itself has high stats, as would be expected of the competitive weapon reward. But the handling is too far above its closest competitor in the BXR, making it too easy to max out almost all the important stats when combined with the ability to slot stocks. As such, we've reduced the stats slightly to provide more of a trade-off if you choose to not devote a barrel or stock towards handling. This is such fucking cope coming from their PvP sandbox team. This is a nothing burger. It's not going to make any meaningful difference in how the gun feels unless they're fundamentally changing how the game treats 5 less handling. This means nothing, and everything they just said about the handling boost and having to make a choice is bullshit. Absolute, unadulterated bullshit. So they are putting their lips directly on your asshole and blowing smoke into it. That's what's happening right there. Anyway, let's move on to the changes that are coming to comp and trials. These are good changes, unless you like to play as a duo, in which case these changes suck for you. Starting on Tuesday, in comp and in trials, duos are going to be facing 3 stacks more often than not. On top of that, if you're a solo that gets sucked into a match against a stack, as long as you play, that match will not count against you. All right, as long as the game registers that you are playing the match, even if you lose, it will not count against you. Should not count as a loss for comp rank. Should not count as a loss on your card. Shouldn't upset your win streak. So we'll see how that's going to play out. There is an algorithm that is monitoring how you play the match to decide whether or not you're throwing. So it could be that if you're very bad at the game, it might still think that you're throwing and still count the loss. If it happens that you match against a 3 stack and you're a solo and you lose and it takes your comp rank or it messes up your win streak, please don't go to the forums and instantly say your shit is broken, Bungie. Please take a look at your stats and how you did in that match. And if you were like 1 in 15, probably the game thought you were throwing because you were that bad. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. I know that's a hard pill to swallow for some of you that are listening right now, but some people do play badly enough for the game to think that you're trying to throw. Greener, you look worried.
That's definitely gonna happen. Like I played enough Trials games last week to know that sometimes you just get grouped against people you can't kill. Like there's some people that are just so good at the game that like even if they stood there and looked at me, they would still beat me. That's just the way it is. You can go through my Trials matches. You can see, you know, I'm doing fine at 1.0, 1.5, you know, 0.7, you know, all this stuff. And then there's just 3 games in a row. There's just like 0, 0, 0, 0. Just can't do anything. They just completely walk and smash the shit out of you. You can't even look right and you're dead. It definitely happens. So it's just like, I figured that would probably happen more often versus a 3-stack. That are all very good. So yeah, basically, whenever I'm gonna group up, whenever I'm gonna go into a match against a 3-stack, I just like I'm like, oh yeah, baby, lost forgiveness. Get 0 kills, 0 assists, just completely just get annihilated.
Imagine. Been playing Trials all day. All right, there's a weapon you really want. You really want as many adepts as possible. All right. You have been in the zone all day. Game 1, you stomp. Game 2, you stomp. Game 3, you stomp. You keep stomping all the way through Game 6. Then Game 7 comes across. And lo and behold, the other team is Walla, DeFizzle, and like, I don't know, Omelette. Just this cracked team of PvP streamers that somehow matched you. And even though you're playing your heart out the entire match, you go like 0 and 23. And the game thinks you were throwing. And it ruins your 7 streak.
How do you die 23 times in a Trials match?
I don't know. I don't know,
That's just how good they are. They somehow can res you just to kill you again.
I have a feeling that's going to happen to some people, you know? Maybe not that outlandishly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, I know. There was matches, like I said, there was matches last week where I was 0 KD, like just absolutely just demolished 0 KDA. Like my whole team just gets, they're just that good, or they're hacking, but it's most likely they're just good.
I think this is going to result in a lot more people queuing solo. So I think the solo matchmaking queue is going to be pretty poppin'.
It's going to get to the point where it's going to be so popular that almost nobody will get matched with stacks. So it'll almost never be. It'll almost never be relevant, which is fine too. Like. I'm totally cool with going up against solos. It's better than going up against duos or trios.
All right. Now it's time for me to rant a little bit.
About what?
On the Prowl and Smoke Crucible tuning.
Yeah.
Let me preface. Let's talk about the changes first. All right. On the Prowl came out way too hot. All right. Mm-hmm. It does way too much. Like you mark somebody when you dodge. Your teammates when they're looking, they can see the person that's marked because they have a glow on them. You kill them, they pop in smoke. If their teammates are around, their teammates are all of a sudden blind. They're slowed. They can't jump. Their movement abilities are messed up. Hold on, the dogs.
Rector's barking again.
Yep, Rector's barking again. Anyway, their movement abilities get messed up. Your weapon handling goes away, and basically, it's a death sentence in Trials, or in competitive, or even in 6s. They're making changes so that all smoke, at least it reads this way, that smoke in general will no longer reduce player movement speed or jump height. It's no longer going to reduce weapon handling. It's not going to suppress any movement abilities. And then for On the Prowl, there's not going to be any glow in first person. And it's going to reduce the glow intensity on hunted players in third person. I don't necessarily have a problem with these changes. Here is my problem. what the fuck is smoke supposed to do in general? Like, it's a weekend, okay? And it's a blind, but it doesn't prevent somebody from just sliding right into your face and shotgunning you. I don't know if you recall this, but smoke used to have a long timer. It was a trap, and it had a radar ping, so it did radar manipulation. And then they changed it. They took away the radar manipulation, and they added damage instead. So it does a small amount of damage. It actually will take half your bar if you just stand in it. But the tick damage is very small. But it gave you disruption instead of radar manipulation, because somebody would get caught in it and they couldn't move, and they were an easy target. They had a hard time shooting you back. Now it's nothing. It's a visual effect. A tiny bit of damage. If they stay in it, it'll be about 4 or 5 points of damage, and a weekend effect, and that's it. That. What is the identity of smoke in the kit now? What is it supposed to do? Because it's neither of the things that's been the identity for the entire time that smoke's been a thing. The question is not asking for an answer, all right? Because here's the problem I have with this nerf. And it's a problem I have whenever Bungie does ability nerfs for any classes, especially in PvP. Bungie does not respect class identity when they issue nerfs for PvP. People bitch and whine about a certain thing that any ability is doing, and it could be anything. It could be the electric slide on this warlock is doing too much damage, or the jolts are going too far, or I don't like that he's getting amplified when he does it, or this Titan's sunspot does too much damage, or it heals them too much, or their melee is doing too much damage. It's causing me to get one shot, or their knockout ability is working with other abilities to make other effects happen, like it seemingly was designed to do. And so when Bungie comes through and sees this complaining, I feel like their knee-jerk reaction when coming through with changes isn't to come through with nuance and modify whatever the problem with the ability actually it is. It is to dumpster whatever people are complaining about so they'll shut the fuck up. And then when they do that, what they have is an ability that stays out there useless for a year before they come back and touch it again. Whenever they come back and revisit a class. Like the most recent one for Hunters was Withering Blades. Withering Blades used to be great in PvP. They don't do shit anymore. They barely do any damage. They don't track when they bounce. They don't do anything. They don't do any of the things that used to do. They barely apply a slow. All right? So there's no point to using it. It's a dead ability for PvP. You might have it on your kit, but there's no reason to have it on your kit because it doesn't play into anything. And Bungie does this all the time. I think it is fucking stupid and it's fucking lazy. And they need to spend a little bit more time with their PvP folks if they're going to make these changes something other than just dumpster an ability. Take things away. It's stupid.
Yeah, I think it's funny, and they did everything though. They got rid of the movement speed, the jumping disabler. Well, you know what I mean. Yeah. Fucking with handling, got rid of the suppressing. Like they got rid of everything. Smoke. Like that's not just a bot. Like that's such a huge like 360 on this stuff. Like, you know, you could have just reduced how long it stays or something. Like, yeah. and seen how well that worked. Or get rid of one of these things, movement speed, which I think is stupid. I think you should have kept, if you're going to keep anything visual, because you can't really see anything when you're in smoke. You can kind of see stuff, but not much. And the movement speed, right? I don't give a shit about your jump height. Whatever. I guess you can just jump out of it.
Yeah. Well, listen, move speed. So somebody dies next to you and on the prowl procs, and all of a sudden you're in a smoke that is reducing it's stopping it so you can't see. You're weakened and you're slowed. All right, listen. That's a lot happening all at once. All right. if they took away the weekend, that probably would have been fine, right? Because at least then you have a fighting chance to get away.
I'm just saying they don't have to take away everything. But they took away everything except for the visual impairment.
Now, is smoke still going to be good? Yeah, the visual impairment is still good, and the weekend is still good.
Yeah.
But the ability has... It doesn't have a purpose inside the kit for PvP anymore, right? And there isn't... It's not like there's an alternative. Like, where's my void knife? Give me some void knife melee, all right? Doesn't have to be a throwing knife. Give me, like, a knife lunge. I don't know. Something. Anyway, I'm just really tired of Bungie when they come through. Like, a lot of times when they're nerfing for PvE, I feel like there's more thought given into some of this. Now, obviously, a lot of nerfs are still, let's just dumpster this thing. But I feel like PvE nerfs tend to have a bit more nuance than the PvP ones do. And maybe that's just because, PvP isn't paying the bills, and so they don't want to put a lot of dev time into it. I'm sure that's a big chunk of it. But these changes, when they do this to abilities, just feel bad. Especially when there's no alternatives for those abilities inside the kit you're trying to use. So, that's all. That's my rant. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Woo! No, I agree. I think it was too much. It's too much. I do agree that, it was oppressive and overpowering last weekend. That's why I used it. It's a good kit. But
it
I
still
think
is. I mean, Void Hunter is still going to be probably the strongest kit in PvP. Right?
All right. No. Okay. Calm your shit.
Invisibility by itself is worth playing Void.
Okay, but I've never seen a hunter run in and do a melee and 3 people die instantly.
No, instead you see the hunter going invisible, catching
And
that
getting shot
flank
to death.
and killing 2 or 3 people
Nah.
before they go down. Void Hunter is meta, sir. Hate to tell you.
I don't care what anyone says. When a warlock can slide melee and fucking everybody on the team explodes and dies without even one shot going off, then it's overpowered. I've never seen a hunter do something like that in my life.
Okay, that's because you didn't see them. You just died, and you were like, "What the fuck was that?"
You can see hunters when they're invisible. It's very easy.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I've definitely walked around a corner invisible and got shot to death very quickly. Like, you're not invisible.
You were probably sprinting around the corner and still on radar.
No. Would they just shoot blindly into the light? Like,
when I see somebody on radar coming around a corner, do I pre-fire that corner? Yeah, absolutely I do.
Okay, but normally I jump around the corner because I'm a hunter. But you pre-file the air.
If I hear a jump, yes, of course.
Stop! Turn your audio off. I don't even play. I don't even play with a headset on most of the time.
All right.
Well, there's your problem.
It hurts my ears, man.
Dunk, do you have thoughts on Bungie's nerf cycle?
I find it sometimes to just be very random and sporadic. I mean, there are times when it's 100% necessary, and I appreciate that they respond quickly to resolving some of the damage bugs that you see from certain weapons. But at the same time, there's times I wish that they would just kind of let it ride for a couple days, just so that way people could enjoy the unfortunate situation that happened, and then fix it so that way it's not a big problem in the world. That being said, are some of these bugs detrimental and make the game terrible? Of course. But there are others that are just fun and stupid and whimsical that everyone should have a chance to at least experience to some extent. That being said, though, I like it overall. I mean, there are weapons that just need to calm down. Some perks that are just too powerful that dominate, in PvP and in PvE content.
Yeah, nerf Trinity Ghoul. That shit's too strong.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Just
Yeah,
the bow,
okay.
not every other bow.
Bungie doesn't know how to nerf one bow. It's not possible.
Well, here's the thing: they just nerf the bow, and then they break Telesto again. That's usually how it works.
Yeah, this is a Bungie nerf. All right, we see that bows are a little overtuned, and they're being used on all activities. So we've decided to nerf bows so they no longer shoot arrows. Congratulations! You can now hit people with them like a stick.
That sounds about right.
Yep,
Bows
that
are
makes
now
sense.
bows are now melee glaives only. All right, let's move on. It's been yeah, that's it.
There's
All
not
right.
really a ton else, but
Yeah, there's not. Trials is live right now. The Keen Thistle is available. The Adept version. Get in there and have some fun. Get some cosmetics. For anybody who doesn't know, the reason I've been playing Trials for the last 2 weeks is because I wanted some cosmetics from old Trial seasons and the current Trial seasons. I just wanted to bring that up to let you know. You know, you can get all that stuff now. All you need is a 5-card or a 5-win streak, and then you play on that filled card. And as you win games, you will get old and new cosmetic drops throughout the weekend, along with lots of different Adept drops and regular Keen Thistle drops and regular all the other guns.
You can get all the other guns that are currently in rotation.
Yeah, you can get all the other guns that are currently in rotation. You get a percentage chance for Adept dropped for the Keen Thistle. And then every so many wins, you'll earn either an old cosmetic, and they go all the way back, Every Trials cosmetic that was available, that's the Sparrows, that's the ships, that's the shaders. I even got a ghost on the flawless card, not flawless, but the lighthouse card this week. That was from somewhere else, even though I thought the ghosts were only on the other card. I think I'm a little confused about how to get the ghosts.
That's how it said initially, but I got the new ghost on the lighthouse card.
I did physically get the ghost from the chest though, so I thought maybe that was why.
I got mine as a drop after again.
You got it as okay. So yeah, all right. Potential for ghost drops, but apparently you're only supposed to get them on the skill based card. So not 100% sure.
Okay.
Anyway, I want for people that didn't know that's how it works. Yeah, you get a 5-win streak. You finish out that card, get it to 7 wins. It has to have a 5 streak on it, or you don't get cosmetic drops afterwards. It's got to be 5, right? I'm right?
I think that's correct because you have to. Yeah, you only get it when you start accruing points, which is at game 5.
Yeah, so you need a 5-win winner. And then you finish out that card to 7, and then you leave that card active. Okay, you don't reset it and start again. So you can only do this if you're not going to keep trying to go flawless. So you just play on that card. It's a full card. You'll play against other people that have similar stats for the week, like a 5, 4, 5, 6 card wins. And supposedly, I don't know. And you'll get drops as you win. And you can get some old and new cosmetics. And that was always a point of contention for a lot of people, I think. And that's my most excited part of Trials being more accessible now, is being able to grab all those old drops. And I really wanted the Beetle ship, and I got it last week, and I'm happy. So, yay! All right. I just want to get more people into it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm not good. All right. Last week I went like 0.63. All right, that's not good.
My average Trials weekend is a 0.7, but last weekend I broke 1.0 for the first time ever. And
wow, I found last weekend so fucking hard. Like significantly harder than the week before. Like the week before I did much better. It's probably like a 0.82. But I just thought, I got smashed. I had like a 43% win rate this week. Like it was.
Were you using Tommies?
No.
Put on RDMs and just hip fire Tommies everywhere. Trust.
No. I'm not a loser. I'm not a slave to the meta. I do what I want. I used
Okay.
I used Ayesha's, and even though I knew that Redrix was better, and I used Exalted Truth most of the weekend.
It's Endless Veil this week. It's mostly close range fighting. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't at least try RDMs with Tommies.
I mean, I had RDMs most of the week. I like RDMs regardless because of the double dodge, but not because of the hipfire stuff. All right, maybe. I don't know. It seems like when I saw that in a match, I was like, "Oh, it's gross. I don't like it."
I listen. I feel bad about it when I do it, but it's something, all right.
Okay. All right.
All right. Account linking.
Okay.
Guess
Yeah.
what? You're not going to be able to unlink your accounts anymore from various platforms.
Why?
I don't know why they're doing it, but it will make things more difficult for account sellers to do anything with their accounts now, because you have to sell your entire account that is linked to the thing
Oh,
in order to
okay.
make it happen.
I guess that's fine. I guess
And then
they have that much trouble with this account sellers.
I'm sure there's some other reason for them doing this, but they're just making it so you can't unlink your platforms to your account. The only exception being like your Twitch can still be unlinked, but like your PlayStation or your Xbox, your Epic Games Store, your Steam account, like that stuff won't be able to be unlinked from the game anymore.
I find that very annoying. I don't know why. I just think it's stupid. If I want to unlink something, let me unlink something.
It could have something to do with cheaters as well.
I still don't care. I don't like it. Figure out a different way. Every other game does.
Yeah. And then Bungie wants you to buy things.
Yeah. Right now, until March 11th, they have the 777 flat rate shipping again in the United States only. And they got some sales on some stuff. So go ahead and check out the store. And then there's a special emblem. Is this only available?
If you buy Guardian Games merch.
Wait, as a reminder, Moments of Triumph, Bungie Rewards, purchase Bungie Store does come with a new gift purchase emblem, time honored. Complete those triumphs and redeem your Bungie rewards today. $10 says that's for anything you buy in the store, because Bungie is really bad at that. I almost want to go buy a bunch of stuff to get a bunch of those emblems, because that's a cool emblem. I bet I could sell that for charity. Sell everything. When I see an emblem, I was like, how much could I get for a charity donation for this later when nobody has access to it anymore? What are those?
This is a preview. This is the next thing in the list. It's a preview of an exotic ornament coming with Frontiers. This is for Worm God's Caress.
I mean, that looks cool, but does anybody use Worm Gods? I don't even know what it does.
It has a stacking buff that is a higher damage buff than Syntheseps is for melees.
Just
but
harder
you
to
have
trigger, I guess.
You have to build it up and you have to manage your stacks rather than just having the buff anytime there's multiple enemies around you.
Okay. It's cool. It's a cool looking ornament. Yeah.
And then we have some art, which is actually pretty good art.
I never looked.
The Witness. We are going to act super cute. And the Witness turns into a cat with little cats.
Oh, what did I see today? Hold on, I want to maybe bring this up. I said it was Endless Veil this week, right?
It is Endless Veil. Yep.
I'm trying to see something. What did I see? Was it this one? Oh my god, make it bigger. Why is this so difficult?
Yes, Devilito, it is also double XP in trials, double rep in trials right now.
Yeah, double rep in trials, but I officially after last week I'm at 5 resets for trials, so I think I'm not too worried about the rep gain. Okay, never mind. It's never gonna come up. Oh wait, it just came up. Okay, this isn't the map that I saw then. Never mind. There's a map at Endless Vale that looks like The Witness. I saw it on Twitter, but maybe it was modified to look like The Witness. I don't remember. Let me pull up the Destiny. Is it one that they used? Maybe it wasn't Endless Vale. I feel like it was. Yeah, I'll never find it again. Don't worry about it. Scratch. Let's move on.
We're done.
Cool art. All right. Yeah, we talked about everything. Act 2 starts on Tuesday. Player of the year stream tomorrow. I'm not ready.
Also, the Crimson Days tomorrow.
Crimson. Oh shit! I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I doubt. Oh, how many teams we got?
Let's see what we got right now. The last time I looked, there were 6 teams, but maybe it's changed. I doubt it, but
okay. Gatto tends to forget about these things, and he probably didn't know about the time change. So I'll have to see if he's actually going to show up or not.
Yeah, your team is not signed up.
Oh, what?
Or the re-sign up.
We had to re-sign up?
You don't. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be there, you're going to be there. 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, I have 6 teams currently, assuming
Without
everybody
us.
shows. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see anyway. But I do have to do some prep tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, maybe I'll be there.
5, 6, 7 teams.
Okay.
So we could use an 8th. That'd be good.
Yeah. All right. No promises.
No promise.
No. I guess no.
Promise. Be there.
No. I refuse. Okay. Anyway, I think it was a pretty good week. It's been a couple good weeks for Destiny. I feel like it's in a decent spot at the moment. I do have this huge worry that Apollo is coming out later than we initially thought. I'd like to get some clarification at least, or from Bungie at some point. So, but I think right now, I mean, I think our episode 3 is going to keep us, good for a little bit. Activity's still looking good. The numbers are still looking good. I know it's just 4 weeks into the season, but there's going to be a gap. There's going to be a gap after that when episode 3 finishes and before Apollo comes out. So hopefully we can keep things rocking and rolling like we did with Wish. But I don't think people are going to be as excited for Apollo as they were for Final Shape. So could be tricky.
Time will tell.
Unless Bungie comes out with some banger shit. But the way they explain their expansions and stories and seasonal content, like, I would personally think that less people would be excited for that form because it's less content. Well, it feels like less content. I guess we'll have to wait and see what it actually is. Anyway, point is, I'm glad this is a decent season because the last one, oof, that was a big swing and a miss. Big swing and a miss, except for best first host. Best thing that came out of that season is that dungeon. Prophecy's still better. Sorry, I can't help it. Love Prophecy for some reason. I'm not sure why.
I mean, it's fun.
It's the first dungeon I solo flawless. It might hold a special place in my heart because of that reason. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, I finally did my solo flawless in Prophecy the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't do it that often, but every now and again, it's gotta happen.
Well, good. I still have to do Arc Hunter Solo Flawless of Vesper's host. So Bebo has to give me 5,000 subs.
Yep. Be banking on that.
You don't think I could do it?
Yes,
don't
that's exactly what I was saying.
You don't think he can afford 5,000 subs?
Also exactly what I was saying.
He does taxes for companies. He has access to their financial records. He could just take the money from them.
Yes, Greener or Bevo's gonna embezzle from the companies he may or may not work for, so he can buy subs for Greener.
I can confirm he already embezzles the money. He just needs to send it my way when he's done with it.
Okay.
All right.
If this was in the United States, this would be called a conspiracy charge. This would be a RICO charge.
Just talking about it as a joke is against the law.
Oh, Greener.
Okay, I was gonna say, what a cool country.
Yeah. I mean, you will know soon enough. Anyway.
Oh my god, get out of here. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Certainly not politics on this show.
No.
All right. I'm going to do the outro. We're leaving.
Great. Perfect.
Thanks, everybody, for watching this week at Shrouded, episode 99. Got episode 100 next week. We will be doing nothing special. I was your host, Eddie Greener. Thanks, Dunk. Thanks, Rex, for being here. That's it. We're out. Let's get out of here. Let's go home.
Oh,
Goodbye.
Canada. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Splendid.